In this episode of the Beer Necessities, we take the trip down to Germany's Black Forest, where our first stop will be the city of Freiburg. The easiest way to get from North Wales or the northwest of England to Freiburg is to fly from Manchester Airport down to Basel Airport and then make the circa 45-mile trip northeast by train up to the city of Freiburg, which is on the western edge of Germany's Black Forest, straddling the Dreisam River, one of Germany's warmest cities, and apparently one with the most sunlight. Not that you'd notice on this particular trip. Aside from the Freiburg Münster Cathedral in the heart of the Old Town, the other standout landmarks in Freiburg are this Martin's Gate Tower and also Schwadentor Gate Tower, both of which are within the heart of the city's Old Town. Perhaps the city's most famous feature is the Freiburg Bächle, which are small water runnels flowing through the streets of Freiburg. You might be forgiven for thinking these miniature canals are here for decoration and children to sail toy boats down, but the history of these little waterways runs far deeper than the Bächle themselves. They've been here since the 13th century, providing water from local mountains and the Dreisam River into the city for drinking water and firefighting supplies. But of course, we're not here for Bächle or gate towers. We're here for beer, and therefore the first stop of our Freiburg visit is to the Hausbrauerei Feierling, which is in the Old Town and a short walk from the Schwadentor Gate Tower.
Hausbrauerei Feierling, which is in the centre of Freiburg in the Black Forest of Germany. Now, this brewery has been here since 1877, I think it is. Julius Feierling incepted it. I believe it went Pete Tong in 1981, I think. It was blamed on some of the water quality issues. It relies on some of the wells that exist under the streets here, and I think there was a car park built below deck, and it caused sort of water contamination and things like that, but I'm probably pretty sure that it was down to other reasons as well. But fourth generation of the Feierling family started this place up again, I think in 1989, and over the next few years, that's when it started to emerge into a place that people, the public, could come and drink again and enjoy some beers here. So I'm sure that the beer has evolved massively since then, but here the signature beer is Inselhopf, and that means island hop. Now, island, presumably that's because you can't see it from this particular angle, but all around this area there are streams, canals, well, yeah, more streams than canals running around it, so it's kind of on an island, really. But it'd be really interesting to go in and try this particular beer anyway. And like I say, I've been to Freiburg twice before, been to other breweries here, but not this particular one, so it'll be interesting to go and see what this one's all about. But it's the only place you can buy this particular beer. You find that with some of these craft breweries. You can't find it bottled in shops or anything like that. You have to come and buy it here. You can buy growlers of it, but depending on where you're coming from, it probably won't be too appealing by the time you've got it home and opened it up anyway. So this is the main brewery here, and this is where all the copper kettles are and things like that inside. But you can sit around it and have a drink and eat in there. And just across is an extension of it, which is a beer garden. Seems like a really good place to spend some time and enjoy a beer or two. So let's go do that.
It's brew day in the Feierling Brewery, and it smells absolutely divine in here. Today, Gabriel is on brew duty, and I've been incredibly lucky that he took time out to chat with me and give me some real insight into the beer brewing process here at this brewery, where you can casually sit at the bar enjoying a beer whilst watching the team brew another batch of their Inselhopf beer.
Inside Brauerei Feierling, and this is the Inselhopf beer. And before I taste it and describe it, what's actually cool in this place is they are actually brewing this beer right behind me right now. So just on the near side is where the beer is sparged, but on the far side, getting the camera out of the way, on the far side is where it's being mashed and boiled. So right now this beer is being boiled, so it smells delightful in here, really sweet in here. Now this came about a minute ago, thick, frothy head on it. Hazy colour, golden hazy, unfiltered, so you'd come to expect that. Now this is a Kellerbier. I've seen this Inselhopf described as being a Pilsner, but it most certainly isn't a Pilsner. It is a Kellerbier. It comes in at about 5% ABV, maybe spot on 5%, and in terms of IBU, bitterness, it's below 20, so although it's called Inselhopf, which would suggest it's hoppy, island hop, it is not very hoppy, but straight away, it's the smell of bread and biscuits, that. Sweet, really sweet. Fresh bread, yeah. Just like a real sweetness to it. Now the taste. First thing you get is a very subtle banana taste to it, but then we straight away get into the, as per the aroma of it. Get the words out properly. It tastes biscuity. It's quite sweet, but not too sweet. Now there is a slight bitterness to it, but I would say it is more giving on the malt side than it is on the hop side. So again, maybe contrary to its particular name, but that is extremely tasty. Yeah. Breadiness, biscuits, that little fruitiness to it. Like I said, the initial taste was banana, but it kind of breaks out into more citrus type flavours, I think. Yeah, it's really good. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting to like it, but it is really good. It's well carbonated, which makes it quite refreshing. And you can see that head's lasting really well, to be fair. Now, I just had a really good chat with the brewmaster here. Picked his brains on this. Keen to understand a little bit more about how it's made. But yeah, it is more of a Bavarian style beer, this, rather than the Pilsner which you tend to see out in these parts of the Black Forest. So the malts that you've got in here are Pilsner malts, confirmed, tick. And then in terms of the hops, you've got the Tettnanger and you've got Hallertau in there, which explains why it's just got a very subtle aroma and a very subtle hoppy taste to it, and a little bit of spiciness to it, which you can associate with those hops. So you do get the taste of that bread and biscuits, a little bit of fruitiness, but you do get that very delicate hoppiness to it with a very slight edge of spiciness. So this is impressive. I really like it. Unfortunately though, you're only getting it here. This is not bottled and sold in shops. Even in the city of Freiburg, you can buy a growler behind the bar in Philadelphia, but I ain't buying one of those and taking it back to Wales because it'll be dead as a dodo by the time I get it there. But yeah, that is, I mean, and considering it's 5% as well, like a Bavarian style beer, doesn't feel like it. So is it a safety lager? Could you get on that all day? I could. Don't know about you, but I'd have a real good go at this. And to some it'd be off-putting the fact that it's unfiltered and therefore quite hazy, but that doesn't bother me at all. That just means it's got a bit more flavour in it. So I'm really grateful to the guys here who've given me their time and chatting through how they make the beer, and it's obviously all happening behind me. So if you're ever in Freiburg, I suggest you come down to the Brauerei Feierling, because you will not get this beer anywhere else. But it's a shame really, because it's bloody lovely. So I might have one more, as I usually do. I always have 2 or 3 just to be sure. I think that next stop will be Martinsbräu. Now that is a brewery that I have been to a couple of times before down the years, so this is my first time here in this particular brewery, despite having been to Freiburg a few times. But Martinsbräu, been there a few times, so we'll go and see what's going on there.
Baby,
situated down an alleyway right next to Martin's Gate Tower and under the Market Hall is Martinsbräu. I've been here twice before, and whilst this brewery has a standard menu of beers to choose from, it is also known for producing monthly specials throughout the year. Certainly a place worth visiting when in Freiburg.
Nestled here in the streets of Freiburg is Martinsbräu. Now I like the sound of that. I have been here twice before. Last time 6 years ago, and before that 9 years ago. Never to do a review, but I'm fairly familiar with the beers. Now I don't believe you can buy these beers outside of this brewery, which is an extremely popular restaurant as well at the same time. This place was introduced to the streets of Freiburg in 1989, so not a particularly old brewery, but it's very, very popular. But I think that's probably more for the food than anything. But let's get inside, because it is pissing down with rain, and let's try a couple of their beers and see where we go from there.
Similar copper lauter tuns, mash tuns and boiling kettles to that of the Feierling brewery live inside this busy little gastro brewery. And if you come on the right day, you'll be able to watch the Martinsbräu brewery team in action. Martinsbräu seems really popular with tourists, locals, the old, the young, and even people with young families.
Martinsbräu is an extremely busy and popular brewery, more so because it's a restaurant as well, and I imagine that's probably why most people are in here. So it's extremely loud at the moment, a queue to get in here. Been here twice before, always been popular, but I've not seen it this busy before. But anyway, it's extremely popular. I have gone safe with the first one. I've gone with a Pilsner. I'm not entirely sure how strong it is, looking at the menu. But I have gone safe anyway. Where is it? Find it in a second. There we go. The Pils. Doesn't say. But I'd imagine it's somewhere between 4.5 and 4.78%, something like that. I will, afterwards though, try Bananenweizen, because that sounds intriguing. Less safe. Bananenweizen. I can only guess what that's going to taste like anyway. But Pilsner, decent head on it. Unfiltered, as per what we just had before on the Inselhopf. So I would imagine that we're going to have a slightly different drink to that one, because this one is a Pilsner, that one was more of a Helles and Kellerbier. But really, really cloudy, but light in colour. So yeah, safe to say that this is made with Pilsner malts. In terms of hops, don't know. It's so busy in here today. It's obviously not a brew day as well, so we've got the copper kettles in here as well, which is really cool. But there's no brewmaster to have a chat with. So let's... Fresh, crisp, a little bit of sweetness. Very, very slightly bready. Not a lot to report on in terms of aroma. Really carbonated. Nice, fresh, lively. So you immediately get that Pilsner bitterness. The hops, the bitterness is the key feature in this one. A little bit dry as well, actually. So, yeah, as you'd expect with Pilsners, really. Not too much malt coming through. Yeah, there's certainly a taste of it. A little bit of sweetness, but it's mainly dryness, mainly bitterness. Now, the fact that it's unfiltered means you are getting quite a decent amount of flavour in that. It's yeah, you get the citrus fruits. You get that general sensation, as you do with a lot of pilsners anyway. But this is, because it's unfiltered, it's retained a lot more character and flavour, which makes it pretty pleasant, to be honest with you. And if I compare this to, you know, most pilsners, maybe a bit of banana now, ish, very little bit, but. Bit of spiciness too, maybe from the hops, but I don't know. There's no brewmaster to speak to today, so I can't get the ins and outs of it. But overall, decent beer, to be fair, as far as pilsners go. So if you're ever in Freiburg, I suggest swinging by this place and having one or two of these, because it is quite refreshing, pleasing, like I said. Typical pilsner bitterness, but absolutely worthwhile having. So Martinsbräu Pilsner gets a thumbs up, decent beer. And then I look forward to, there's a few different ones. They've got Hefeweizen as well, a Radler, but Colaweizen, no thank you. But Bananenweizen sounds horrific, which is why I will give that a go in a second. Cheers. Cheesy noodles. And I went for Bananenweizen. There's also a sauerkraut on top as well. Bananenweizen beer. Obviously, a wheat beer, but it's got banana in the name, which is ominous. The brewery was so busy and so noisy that unfortunately the sound for this particular clip and review was really poor. I know I'm getting to the stage where I probably need to invest in better technology to cater for that kind of situation. I can still provide the gist of how this particular review went. Bananenweizen is a Weiss beer, wheat beer, or should I say a Weizen. Now, Weizens use a particular type of top fermenting yeast which are known for giving off banana esters. And my word, have Martinsbräu managed to figure out how to do that to the absolute max. It's so banana-y that it's almost banoffee-like, or dare I say, like Nesquik. Far too banana-y for me. Sickly, really not my cup of tea. I think I actually described it as disgusting, which might be a bit harsh. But it's all about personal taste, all about individual preference. And I'm sure there is a real market for this beer, which is why it's on the menu in Martinsbräu. But the way I feel about Bananenweizen is not a reflection of how I feel about Martinsbräu. This is a great little brewery that does some really good beers, and I really recommend you come here if you're ever in the Black Forest. Being unable to finish my glass of Bananenweizen signalled the end of our stay in Freiburg. It was time for us to head off elsewhere in the Black Forest. Further south, in fact, to somewhere a little different. Next, we travel 12 miles southwest of Freiburg to the southern western edge of the Black Forest to visit a little medieval town called Staufen.
But why?
I've got a feel.
Staufen is a sleepy, picturesque town with only around 8,000 inhabitants and is situated next to Münstertal, surrounded by breathtaking Black Forest scenery. Like Freiburg, you'll find little Bächle canals running fresh water from the Neumagen River through the town centre. Delightful little restaurants, hotels, cafes, bars and shops. This quaint little place attracts many tourists during the summer months, many of whom stay at local camping and caravan sites. But what is so special about Staufen?
If I make a promise, then I mean to keep it.
Its most famous landmark is the castle ruins on the hill overlooking the town. And sure, this is a paradise for bikers, hikers, and those who just love a lazy weekend exploring quaint towns. The town crest has 3 wine glasses on it, and that's a real indication about what Staufen is really about. Staufen is surrounded by vineyards and is also blessed with many wine bars, gardens, shops where local vintners proudly serve their wines. And every summer, this wonderful town is host to the Markgräfler Wine Festival. And that is why we are here.
So if you do make the trip to the Black Forest to sample beers or anything else, it's certainly worth coming to Staufen, which is a few miles south of Freiburg. But every August, the first weekend of every August, there's a 4-day wine festival in this picturesque little town. The Staufen Wine Festival has been running since, I think, 1973, and all the local winemakers in the area, all the vineyard owners, they descend on this little area just outside the town centre and showcase their array of different wines. Now, most of them are white wines. Now, why would I be talking about this when this is a beer review channel? But if you're a lover of beer and brewing, then you're certainly going to appreciate white wine as well. But there's so many great wines here. And there's live music, there's food on offer absolutely everywhere here. It's a really great place to come. And we'll show a couple of clips of some of the things that are on offer, but you know, you might think wine festival, you know, that's not something that really tickles my fancy, but this is a really great place because it's a family atmosphere. So yes, there's old, young, but there's fun fairs here for the youngsters, food, lots of different wine stalls, and a great place to relax for 2 or 3 days. So it runs from Friday until Monday, first weekend of every August, and I couldn't recommend it more. So we're going to have a couple more of these. Had a few already, bit squiffy, Stephen, aren't we?
We're getting there.
We're getting there, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been
night now.
Yeah. Post.
And it's still as delicious as it was on the first night, isn't it, lads?
Still delicious. And we're enjoying some local live music as well. So we're going to have a couple more, see where the night takes us, go and try some food, have a few more different wines. But if you're ever coming to the Black Forest, on the sort of the southern foot of the Black Forest, you'll find Staufen. And it's a very picturesque medieval town. But beginning of August, wine festival, bit of a well-kept secret, really, Steve, isn't it? Yeah,
Certainly is.
Bit of a well-kept secret, but maybe not for long, given the millions of viewers that we have on this channel. So, you know, so
There you go. Secret's out.
secret is out. So anyway,
Yeah. Cheers to that.
price lister, Prost.
I can't explain it, but I know what it means.
Whilst it's been great visiting the Markgräfler Wine Festival in Staufen, really, we've got to end the Beer Necessities episode with a beer. A review I'm not officially going to do while I'm here is on some of my favourite Pilsner lagers from the Black Forest region, such as Waldhaus. This is a beer I've had on a number of occasions here in different areas of the Black Forest in Germany, and actually right now I'm in a little village called Münstertal. So I've just had a very long walk, so I'm sweaty through the valley from Staufen up to Münstertal. It's really warm, and I thought before I head back I'll have a real cold, refreshing one, and Waldhaus absolutely hits that spot. It smells so citrusy and fresh, and again it's got a lovely crisp bitterness to it, which is nicely carbonated, really light, golden clear, filtered, and just really refreshing. So if you're ever in this part of the world, I do recommend that you try a glass or two of Waldhaus, W-A-L-D-H-A-U-S, because it's really pleasant and kick-starts a beautiful day really well.
Time to head back to Staufen, go cool down and relax by the magnificent public swimming pool that you can find within the town. An opportunity then to reflect and think about what episodes we want to try and approach next. Thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and we'll see you next time.
Hausbrauerei Feierling. This is in the centre-ish of Freiburg. Now, I've been to Freiburg a couple of times before and tried some of the local breweries here. I've never been to this one before. This brewery was incepted in 1877 by Julius Feierling. Now, I believe it went bust or fell apart in 1981. I think some of that was attributed to changes in some of the water quality from the wells it relies on underneath these particular streets. But then the family restarted it, or fourth generation of the family restarted it. These guys are doing it on purpose, aren't they?